Welcome to the MS Nerve module. Now really this module isn't about MS, it's about how to address the nerves themselves. And MS is positively affected by this process. I remember once my favorite story with MS was getting a phone call in the middle of the afternoon by a gentleman who was crying on the phone. And he was describing what he had just done. What he had just done was he had just mowed his lawn. Now this sounds simple to some of you. Most people think of mowing the lawn as, just like what we do on a nice Saturday afternoon. But for this gentleman who had severe MS, mowing the lawn was something he had never been able to do in his life. After almost 5.5 months of treating him with Tachyon diligently, day in, day out, he actually mowed his lawn for the first time. So his joy in that phone call was so reassuring. This was back in 1993 when we were really getting into some of the different types of problems that were internal to the body, and we were starting to really develop different kinds of protocols for organ specifics that weren't released yet, and he was doing testing with us. So I'd like to share with you today some of the points that we use for the microdiscs for nerves, for MS, and then share with you the OSs that have been developed to help with these types of situations. Okay? First, let's take a look at the cell dot points. First one that we're going to use here, a cell dot point, I call it, is where we put the microdisc, and that is right on the thymus gland, right down below the first lump, and there it is right there. As you stroke your finger down the chest very lightly, you'll find a spot where there's a slight protrusion. That is the thymus gland, and that's where we want to put the cell dot. Now, if you've got an MS situation, wearing a cell dot on here all the time may not be very easy. So if you've got a nerve situation where you're going to be treating this for a long period of time, that may not be very easy either. So check the resource bar for the pendants that we have. We have different pendants that can be worn on a necklace right there and cover the thymus gland. If that works for you, that's great. If not, you can use a microdisc like this one. Secondly, just below, 3 fingers above the bottom of the sternum, we have the next point, and that's right here. Let me get a dot for that. This relieves anxiety, stress, calms the nerves. Very, very effective at bringing soothing energy here to the system. So this is a very, very good point for it. We've got these two. The third place I'd like to look at is all the way down, and I'll grab a... This is near the Sea of Chi. It's 2 fingers right below the belly button. This adds energy to the system. Now, you have to understand something about Tachyon. Tachyon can't overcharge a system. So we're not worried about putting too much energy in. You need to be aware of this. Tachyon doesn't overcharge. Why? Because Tachyon does not charge the system. All that happens is that the SOFs convert Tachyon into the frequency required by that system to promote perfect balance for that system. So if the person is too energetic, actually putting a cell there will mellow them out because it brings balance to that system, do you see? And if they're too low on energy, it'll bring it up by bringing that energy back into harmonious balance. So don't worry that we're putting a cell on a microdisc on a spot where you might think, well, that's going to promote too much energy and my client's already too nervous. Go ahead and check it out. You may find, I think you might find that that will soothe the nerves, soothe the soul more than anything because of that balancing effect that's natural with Tachyon. Okay? So these are the 3 points that we like to use most. There are more on the resource bar. Check them out. Evolve those into your practice. And remember, with each situation that you will have, you need to use different combinations. For instance, we have a lot of different OS potentials for this particular situation. Why don't we take a look at those now?
Tachyonized blue-green algae. Tachyonized blue-green algae has many health-promoting properties for your whole being. It has a positive effect on the whole mind, brain, nervous system in general, and specifically enhances the hypothalamus, pituitary, and pineal function. Tachyonized spirulina. Spirulina is an incredibly nutrient-dense food. It contains nearly every nutrient needed to sustain life, except for water. It is an immune-enhancing nutraceutical and a superfood. easily assimilated and digested even by those who are ill. It also contains a substantial B12 content. SG1. Tachionized silica gel. Silica gel is used as a nerve conductor and for building up strength and integrity of the tissues. Contraindications and cautions. This colloidal is very powerful. Although there are no harmful side effects to using Tachyon Energy, some people find if they use it in excessive amounts, it speeds up detoxification and can cause some discomfort. Please follow directions and be gentle with yourself. OS4. Tachyonized antiviral remedy. This remedy is suggested for multiple sclerosis because viruses are often indicated in multiple sclerosis. As adjunct therapy in conditions caused by or associated with virus, Epstein-Barr, and multiple sclerosis. OS20. Tachionized immune system tonic. Echinacea in the OS20 is an adaptogenic stimulant to the immune system. It is used as the first line of defense in resisting disease by strengthening and potentiating the immune system. Suggested in any instance of a weak or compromised immune system. Specifically indicated as an immune supportive therapy. OS26. Tachionized restorative nerve preparation. The herbs in this compound have a mild sedative action, which primarily serve as a restorative to damaged and irritated nerves. Suggested for treatment of low or exhausted nerve force, commonly referred to as nervous exhaustion. This condition may be a result of severe or prolonged illness or stress. As a restorative, it repairs the vital life force and is helpful in treating various nerve disorders such as depression and multiple sclerosis. Contraindications and cautions. Do not take this compound during pregnancy except under the advice of your medical doctor or health practitioner. OS2. Tachionized anti-trauma remedy. OS2 supports healthy vascular and musculature systems as well as promoting healthy nerve and spinal function. Also helps maintain balanced emotional health. OS25. Tachionized restorative adrenal gland tonic. This herbal blend contains natural plant steroids which act to restore integrity to the adrenal glands and promote a greater sense of energy and well-being. Useful as a nutritive and tonic to the adrenals, as well as to nerve cells and tissues. This compound is an adaptogenic, helping to build the body's response to physical and mental stresses. Contraindications and cautions. This compound is contraindicated in hyperadrenal conditions such as Cushing's syndrome and Conn's syndrome. CZ4. Tachionized Fizz-C. 1 teaspoon of tachionized Fizz-C in 12 ounces of liquid provides 2 grams of vitamin C as part of a total of 43 neutral complexes of minerals plus B vitamins. Tachionized Fizz-C is a powerful blend of vitamins and minerals easily absorbed directly into the body's cells, accelerating the production, absorption, and utilization of energy. Tachionized Fizz-C supports the immune system. Tachionized water. Tachionized water is a very important product. It draws life force energy to every cell in your body. It bypasses the blood-brain barrier, transforming your body into a superconductor of life force energy. The increased life force allows your body to begin a physical and emotional detoxification. If there's imbalances, it becomes an enhanced tachyon antenna.
Great. So OS26, a nerve restorative product, is wonderful, and I also like the antispasmodic OS number 3. Okay. The adrenals, depending on how much stress has been involved with the nerves, you might want to really consider that OS25 and the Fizz-C as well. Okay. Now then, something else that has benefited the OS clients in the past has been that tachionized water in larger dosages. I know that the dosages on the bottle say, 1 dropper 2 or 3 times a day. But for instance, on the gentleman I was talking about with the lawnmower, he was taking 5 droppers 3 times a day. It's a large dose, but that warranted it at the time. He also did the Cocoon on a consistent daily basis, in fact, twice a day. Now, if you haven't seen the Cocoon, go to the Cocoon module. It's something you're really going to want to check out. I know I always say that, but that's because the cocoon is so wonderful of a tool. Another thing that has been very beneficial is the silk wrap. Silk wrap can be laid in, meditated in, put under the sheets, put over the body, worn around the neck. This really soothes the nerves because nerves are both physical and non-physical influences, and the silk wrap helps with both physical and non-physical soothing. So when you're looking at MS or you're looking at nerve situations, don't be afraid, but realize that this one's going to take you some time. Once you've gotten a foundation that you know that Tachyon works, like the rest of the world knows that Tachyon works, it's using it. It's in 93 countries, people are using it everywhere, and once the foundation is created, where you're saying, okay, this charges the soaps, the outcome is almost 100% predictable, that'll give you the confidence to go after something as difficult a situation as an MS or some type of nerve dysfunction. And the confidence to stay at it week in, month out, depending on how long it takes, and just be diligent with it, knowing that these things take time. It took a long time to get here. Let's give it a little time to get better. Okay? Of course, check with the doctors, see the doctors, keep them being tested, all the things that are normally expected of you. And I think that's all we've got for this module. So let's move on.